Hey everyone, Anthony Venuto here with In Touch Mortgage Solutions. It's Friday, Finance Fridays, and thank you again for tuning in on another episode. On this episode, we're going to be talking about debt consolidation when it comes to consumer proposals or bankruptcy and the options you may have if you own your home. Let's go inside and talk a little bit more. When it comes to debt consolidation and looking at your personal finances, it is something important to understand that if you own a home, you need to consider some of the options that you have before you, especially if you're thinking about going through a consumer proposal or bankruptcy. There is always going to be an option if you own a home and you've built in equity. Now, we've seen home prices increase over the last 18, 19 months, significantly allowing people to make some moves and restructure their debt load in order to benefit them and give them some breathing room. The last thing we want to see is clients that have gone through a consumer proposal or bankruptcy, because these items, once they're reported on the credit bureau and a lender sees them, they will increase the rate or may not even lend to you. And a lot of times we'll see clients and we'll have conversations with clients that were not given the right advice and they were advised by their trustee or advised by their credit counselor to just go ahead and do these consumer proposals because it's going to help them. Now, although it may help them in the short term, in the long term, when they go to look at financing options, it's going to be detrimental to their qualification. So if you own a home, and this video is sort of geared towards more homeowners and people that have established some equity in their home, or even if you're not sure, always speaking to a mortgage professional to understand where you are in the journey can help you understand and gauge where you are. So when we see clients that have equity built in their home and they may have gone through a consumer proposal for whatever amount or bankruptcy for whatever amount, they didn't understand how that would impact them in 5-7 years down the road and how long it would take them to get themselves maybe back into a prime lender or charter bank or monobank as opposed to working with, let's say, equity lenders and privates. So understanding the options that are there in front of you before you see the options for credit counseling or bankruptcy is talking to your mortgage professional so that you can have a little sit down and understand if there's an option for you to pay out your debts using the equity in your home. Even if there are going to be some penalties and there's going to be some maybe higher costs depending on your scenario, it will save you a lot of headaches and stress down the road in 5 to 7 years, because there are going to be requirements for the lenders to see if you've gone through a consumer proposal or bankruptcy. For example, with consumer proposals, they need to be generally discharged for 2 years. You need to have 2 established new trade lines, and you need to have basically 2 years of reestablished credit. So that can be a very big challenge, especially if you've written off a lot of the debts and your credit score has been significantly reduced because of the consumer proposal and bankruptcy. Getting those new credit facilities to help reestablish that credit might be a little bit of a challenge. So, and the same goes with bankruptcy. It may stay on the credit bureau for 5 to 7 years, and that can be a hindrance, especially if you have a young family or you're looking to make some moves and position yourself in the future. So having that conversation with your mortgage professional will always help give you some guidance and some advice on where to go. So when we're talking about debt loads and looking at restructuring, a lot of times clients will come to us and say, we've had a child, or maybe we're off work due to the specific situation that we've incurred over the last 19 months. And we want to basically look at easing the payments and simplifying our structure and making our, giving us a little bit of headroom or ceiling and breathing space so that we can focus on saving. Now is the time to do it. With the rates being where they are right now, home values being increased. We're not trying to push people to take on more debt, but what we're trying to do is alleviate the debt load that they may have already incurred, especially when you think about what you're paying on some of these credit facilities, like your Visa cards you might be paying, or MasterCard or Amex, you might be paying upwards of 18, 19, 20%. Even if you're paying 15 or 10%, you may be eligible to get a line of credit. If you don't have one, maybe you can apply for one with your financial institution and get it for maybe 6 or 7%. Maybe there's a promo, you can take that debt off of the credit cards, put it onto a line of credit, but what you're doing is you're taking from Peter to pay Paul. The idea is to restructure the entire product under the mortgage, which, yes, you are increasing your mortgage amount in order to put those debts on there, but you can simplify your payments at a lower rate of interest and save yourself some money, and not to mention credit, because what happens when credit utilization goes up And let's say, for example, you have a credit card that the balance is $20,000 or the credit limit is $20,000 and your balance is hovering at around $19,000 to $20,000. Your credit score is going to drop. It's basically going to indicate that your utilization is high and that lending is going to be risky if you're constantly utilizing those credit cards at full capacity. If you're paying them off every month, that is one thing, but if you're carrying a balance month to month, those are things you need to be cautious of, as the credit score will begin to deteriorate slowly over time. The rule of thumb with keeping credit facilities is 30 to 40% of the limit, so you don't want to keep them too high. So keeping the credit in check, dealing with the situation when it arises or when you see it start to get a little bit too overbearing on you, and talking to your mortgage professional about options can help you save a lot of headaches, as opposed to having to go through a credit proposal or through a bankruptcy for whatever reason. Now, everybody has their own reasons why they may choose to go through a credit proposal or go through a bankruptcy. I mean, there's different scenarios, different situations. Everybody's unique. Now, the question is if it's due to debt load or carrying on certain specific debts, having that conversation with your mortgage professional, maybe with your accountant, maybe with a real estate lawyer, talking to those professionals and having maybe a little bit of a meeting to understand where you are in your journey can help you save a lot of time and a lot of headaches. And in this market, what we're saying to a lot of clients is a lot of people are going to either refinance themselves out of a problem, or they're going to sell their home and get themselves out of a problem if you're in a situation that you are in where you are looking at options that are maybe not the best suited for your family, or maybe they are the best suited options for your family. But as I said, for us here at In Touch Mortgage Solutions, the most important part of having these financial literacy and Finance Friday videos is to give awareness to options. Because a lot of times people don't think that they can refinance themselves out of trouble or get themselves a little bit more money out of their home to pay out their creditors. This is something that's very important, and we see it because it can damage someone for many years to come if they're not given the right advice. And we get those calls and we see these clients on a daily basis. And a lot of the times, I would say 8 times out of 10, they were never given the right advice. So speaking with someone ahead of time, if you own a home and you have equity, we can definitely get financing arranged that will help you save some money in the long run. If you found this video helpful, please feel free to share it. If you know someone that might be in a situation that requires a little bit of assistance, please feel free to share it with them as well. Here at In Touch Mortgage Solutions, if you have questions, please feel free to reach out to us, DM us, email us, or give us a call. We're always here to help. We hope you found this video helpful. It's Friday. Thank you again for tuning in, and have a great weekend ahead.